So today we're going to talk about solving word problems that involve inequalities. Now I've got a little strategy here. We're going to use this strategy whenever we're faced with any word problem. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to read the problem at least twice or until we understand what it's asking. We really want to make sure that we know what the problem's talking about, we kind of know what kind of answer they're looking for, what kind of units they're looking for, because that'll help us as we solve the problem. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to underline, we're going to circle, box, highlight, anything you want. We're just going to make sure we have all the important information labeled so that we can come back to it later. We have it, and it's just right there for us. Next step, we have to figure out what our variable is. That's going to be important because that's the thing we're trying to solve for. So we're going to find that. We're going to label it. We can just label it X. We can label it any letter. If we're trying to solve for amount of money, we can label it D for dollars. It really doesn't matter, just as long as we know what it is. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to set up our inequality. We're going to take our information that we circled, we boxed, we're going to put it into some sort of inequality, or in other cases it might be an equation if we're doing a word problem with equations. Next thing we do, we're just going to solve that. We know how to solve that. We've been doing that for a couple classes now. So once we get to that step, you guys are home free. That should be no problem for you. Final thing we're going to do, we're just going to make sure our answer makes sense. We're going to think, alright, so the problem was asking for a dollar amount. So did we get a dollar amount in the answer, or did we get like the number of balloons? So we're just going to make sure we know what we're talking about. So let's employ this strategy, and let's take a look at one problem. Alright, so I'll read this problem, and then I'm going to call one of you to read it, just so we got those 2 times. So after 2 games of bowling, Brenda has a total score of 475. To win the tournament, she needs a total score of 684 or higher. Let X represent the score she needs for her 3rd game to win the tournament. Write an inequality for X. What is the lowest score she can get for her 3rd game and win the tournament? Alright, now, would you mind reading that for me?
After 2 games of bowling, Brenda has a total score of 475. To win the tournament, she needs a total score of 684 or higher. Let X represent the score she needs for her 3rd game to win the tournament. Write an inequality for X. What is the lowest score she can get for her 3rd game and win the tournament?
Okay, so now, I think, how do you guys feel? You think we know what we're talking about?
Yes!
Okay, so we're looking for a score, because Brenda's trying to win this tournament. She wants that huge trophy. She's going to get a prize plaque with her name on the wall. So let's go ahead. Step number 2 of our strategy. We're going to underline, we're going to color code, we're going to get all the important information labeled. Alright, so the first thing we're going to look at is this first number, 475 right here. Let's just put a big circle around that. You guys have the worksheet in front of you. You can follow along as we do this. So that 475 is her total score so far. So after 2 games, she's got a 475. So that's going to be like our starting point. Let's see our next thing. Let's see. She needs total to win the tournament. She needs a 684. So let's put a big square around that. That's what she's aiming for. She needs that 684. It says 684 or higher. So if she gets that 685, she still wins. Next piece of information. They give us that X represents the score she needs. So they just give us our variables. So that's nice. So let's put a little triangle around X. So now we've got our starting point, the 475. We've got the score she's trying to reach, 684, and we have our variable. So the last thing we need to do is figure out what inequality sign we want. Do we want less than or equal to, greater than, or greater than or equal to? Now we're going to look for some key words. So you have a sheet in front of you. It has a little chart of some kind of signaling words. If we look at this, we can see it says, what is the lowest score she can get for her 3rd game and win the tournament? So if we're trying to find the lowest score, I gave you a hint earlier saying that she got a 685, she still wins. So if we want to get our lowest score, we'll underline that. If we're looking for a lowest score, that means we want it greater than or equal to, because if she gets greater, that's fine, and then she still wins. So now let's set up our inequality. So we have our 475, we start out with that. And then we have the final score, 684. So let's put that over here for now. Alright, we have X is the score for her third game, and she's going to add that to her score for the first two games. So we're going to add X on there. And we just said that we're going to have greater than or equal to, because if she gets a 685, she still wins. So let's throw that greater than or equal to in there. Alright, so now we have our inequality. So let's try to solve it. Alright, little technical difficulty. We'll solve this out. So we had 475 plus X greater than or equal to 684. Alright, so you guys have been solving inequalities like this for weeks now. We know how to do this. So the first thing we've got is this 475. We want to get it over here so we can have X by itself. We want to isolate X. So let's subtract 475 from both sides. Draw our line. So we keep our X, and we have X is greater than or equal to 209. Alright, so we have X is greater than or equal to 209. So that's our answer right there. We have our X isolated, we don't have anything else on this side, so this is going to be our final answer. Now I also wanted you guys to put that on a number line. So why don't we go ahead and do that. So we'll put our 0 there, put a negative 209, and we'll put a 209. So we have 209, that's our starting point. We're going to put a circle there. Since it's equal to, it can be equal to also, we're going to fill in that circle. Now because it's greater than, we shade to the right. So anything over here. So now we have our answer. We have our number line. So let's just talk about what that answer means. 209. So what is that? That's going to be her score on the third game. So if she gets a 209 on the third game, she wins the tournament. If she gets a 210, she still wins the tournament. So we can say 209 is the lowest score she needs to win the tournament.